You think you choose for love. But when the ground shakes, your nervous system chooses for you. Most people never admit it. They call it destiny. They call it chemistry. Jung called it the unconscious. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Tonight we open a locked door. Not to marble ruins and crumbling statues. To the part of human nature that surfaces when order breaks. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Civilization is a truce. When the truce falters, instinct writes the script. We'll walk through a burning city. We'll step into a scented palace. We'll watch how love rearranges itself around power, safety, and control. This matters because the pattern didn't die with Rome. It's here. It's moving through your choices, your relationships, your future. First, the city. The horizon smokes. Markets shudder. Coins feel thin in the hand. Lucia stands on a balcony, listening for the sound of hooves. She once loved poetry, amphoras of wine, dinner, laughter. Now she listens for a knock that means safety or ruin. Two men move through her mind. Marcellus, a scholar, honest, loyal, tender with words. He believed in the old order. He believed it would protect them. Arden, a war captain, scarred, decisive. He commands men who obey without question. The gates fall. Panic rises like smoke in the chest. Her body calculates before her thoughts do. Seneca whispers from somewhere deep. Fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave. What does bravery mean to a frightened nervous system? It means capacity. Who can keep her alive? Who can keep her bloodline alive? Call it hypergamy if you want. Call it survival calculus. In crisis, attraction tracks stability like iron filings to a magnet. Notice your reaction. Do you feel anger? Or do you feel recognition? Because this isn't just about women. It's about all of us. Fear collapses ideals into needs. Now the coin. Empires don't fall only by swords. They dissolve by subtle devaluations. First, the silver is clipped. Then the promise is. A coin becomes an empty symbol. A salary becomes a ritual. A future plan becomes a story with no ending. Desire shifts with the economy. Provider becomes a sound without substance. Security becomes something you can touch or command, not just say. In that world, the scholar's vows feel light. The captain's presence feels heavy. Weight becomes worth. If you zoom out, you see a law. When systems wobble, mating strategies rescan the map. When the rules change, the heart listens to the body. Pause. If your world tilted tomorrow, what would you reach for? A poem, or a wall that holds? Now the palace. The West burned. The East learned. Byzantium turned survival into an art. The city guarded by triple walls, guarded more fiercely by invisible rules. In that labyrinth of ceremony, the spear wasn't the only weapon. The whisper was. Power hid behind velvet. She enters here. A woman who began in sawdust under torchlight. Not noble by birth, noble by will. Her name is Theodora. An actress, a survivor, a strategist who understood the theater of power before she ever touched a throne. She meets Justinian. Mind like flint, ambition like a horizon. Her leap wasn't just up the social ladder. It was into the engine room of empire. She didn't just choose a powerful man. She secured the system that made him powerful. When the city erupted in the Nika riots, when senators schemed and the mob howled for a new emperor, Justinian hesitated. Theodora did not. Better to be buried in purple than live as a coward, she said. He stayed. His general closed the gates of the hippodrome. The streets turned quiet. Power recalibrated. Understand what happened there. Mating strategy evolved. Not mere proximity to strength. Participation in its design. Women in that court became conductors of invisible currents. Partners, mothers of heirs, minds behind curtains. Not because they were angels or demons, because they understood what the game rewards. Access, influence, leverage over attention and time. Nietzsche warned, he who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. The palace was a mirror. Everyone faced their reflection under pressure. So what does this mean for you? For the woman listening who values love but refuses to be blind. For the man listening who wants loyalty but doesn't understand why it slips through his fingers. 4 truths. 1. Crisis reveals the hidden sorting algorithm. Safety and competence become magnetic. Fantasy deflates. Reality attracts with a force you can feel in your bones. Picture a lantern in a storm. Wind hits. You don't care what the lantern looks like. You care if it stays lit. 2. Economics shape emotion. When the coin loses trust, hearts rebalance risk. In our age, attention is the new currency. Control of attention creates a crown or a collar. Ask yourself, what do you truly invest in, noise or signal? What holds value when the feed goes dark? 3. In stable times, the game goes psychological. Swords give way to symbols. The most dangerous skill is not force. It's framing. Theodora didn't just survive. She reframed collapse into a stage she could master. She turned intimacy into influence. Not by deception, by precision. 4. Power without soul corrodes. Soul without power is prey. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Inner sovereignty is the only wealth that cannot be debased. Let that sit. What do you control when everything else breaks? Here is the dark realization. Most people do not love you. They love what stabilizes inside them when they are with you. They love the quiet you bring to their storms. They love the mirror you hold that flatters their image. They love the future they feel is possible because you are standing there. It's not romantic. It's human. And when you see it, you stop bargaining with fantasies. So what now? Awareness first. Name the currents. Don't demonize them. Call the survival calculus what it is. A program older than your culture, older than your language. Then build a new center. For women, refuse the false choice between softness and strategy. Cultivate both. Learn to see beyond status theater. Choose the partner who is calm under pressure and ethical under temptation. Choose the one who values your mind when no one is watching. For men, competence is not a brand, it is habit. Become a steady signal. Strong but not brittle. Capable of protection, allergic to domination. A man who can face chaos without becoming chaos. For both, study your shadow. Jung again, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. When you see your own bargaining, you stop resenting others for theirs. Build dual power, external and internal. Bread and backbone, skill and stillness. Learn the Byzantine arts without becoming Byzantine. Speak clean. Set boundaries like marble. Keep your word as if it were currency in a world that forgets what currency means. Above all, remember this. You are not helpless before the algorithm. You can reprogram your choices. You can love with open eyes. Once you see the pattern, you can never unsee it. But that's not a curse. That's freedom. Tell me what truth cut deepest. Where did you feel the shift? Welcome to Dark Psychology Secrets. Darkness reveals what comfort hides. Your mind is not your enemy, it's your mirror.